This is the first time I'm recording commentary on this channel, so it's probably going to suck. Hi, hello, how are you, person? So, fuck. Freelancer is a space combat and trading game that came out in the ripe year of 2003. It lets you be whatever you want, wherever you want, whenever you want. It's basically a space RPG and is easily my favorite game ever made. I just wanted to throw this in as like an extra thing as well. Very sorry about the mic quality on this. I know nothing about microphone settings, so if this is bad, sorry. I won't be getting super into the weeds with the story in this video. I actually won't be getting into the weeds at all. I'm just going to be focusing on the challenge run itself that I did. So if you've never played the game for yourself and you enjoy cheesy, over-the-top sci-fi action movies, I would highly recommend that you go play it for yourself before watching this. At the time of recording this video, it's literally considered abandonware, as in completely free to download. The people that own the rights to it, Microsoft I'm presuming, don't sell the game anywhere anymore. Big surprise. You can take a gander on Steam and GOG and those other ones if you want to, but it's not available for purchase on any of them. To sum it up, Microsoft either doesn't care about it or doesn't remember that they own it. Probably both. Also, there's major spoilers ahead for the story. So for this challenge, the rules are very simple. I can use any and all equipment that I want to, but the only ship that I'm allowed to use is the Starflier. Now, if you've played the game before, then you know how slim the pickings are for equipment, and the reasons as to why that is. If you haven't played the game before, allow me to poorly explain. Equipment in Freelancer is class-based. Classes range from Class 1, which is basically a wet noodle, all the way up to Class 10, which is basically small tactical warheads. The equipment that I can carry is capped at a certain class, depending on the ship. The Starflier, for instance, has 3 weapon slots. 2 of those slots can hold weapons ranging from Class 1 up to Class 2, and the 3rd slot can hold weapons ranging from Class 1 up to Class 3. This is severely limiting to our damage output. Also, shields follow this same class-based restriction. We can only have up to a Class 3 shield. This is severely limiting to the damage we can receive. Thrusters, countermeasure droppers, cruise disruptors, which the Starflier can't carry, and mine launchers don't follow the class rules, however. Because of this, mines will become very important later on in the run. I swore them off early just because I don't ever use them, but they'll be instrumental later on. Just trust me. Also, you may have noticed that I'm playing this with the HD Edition mod installed, and I probably should have covered this earlier, but I'm going to cover it now because I forgot, and for some reason I put it here in the script. I know that the HD mod comes with some installation options that straight up break the vanilla game concepts and rules. Like, in the vanilla game, everything is level-based, so like you can only buy certain weapons once you reach a certain level, essentially. I hate level-locked content like that, but as far as I can remember, I didn't activate any of those for this recording. I recorded this back in March of this year, by the way, so I literally can't remember what settings I had on, but I'm pretty sure they were as close to vanilla as possible. If you think this might invalidate the run, oops. So, Mission 1 is nothing to write home about. I mean, what are you expecting, really? You're literally supposed to be flying the Starflier at this point. I didn't have any issues whatsoever. It's Mission 1, again, just saying. So I decided to go all in on lava blades for some reason. Not sure why. I guess I was going for sheer damage output, but I later regretted this. I mean, just look at this refire rate. It's awful. I also grabbed a basic countermeasure dropper when I was on Manhattan. Other than my poor choice of loadout, Mission 2 really didn't give me much of a problem. I flew to Rochester and got myself a better countermeasure dropper, stocked up on some flares, swapped shields for a Class 3, and threw in a heavy thruster to boot.
Brandon Rowlett, you are under arrest. Cut your engines and stand down. All units, fire missiles. Civilian ship, this was a classified Navy operation. Do yourself a favor and keep this quiet.
Here's a question for you. If you were a Navy officer that was tasked with a classified assassination, why on earth would you openly state to the civilian that just watched you carry it out that it was classified? Furthermore, why on earth would you then make it even worse by telling them, keep this quiet? Wouldn't it make more sense to tell a civilian something like, oh man, this guy was a super dangerous criminal. You should really be more careful with the people you talk to. Anyways, toodaloo, that's always bothered me. And by the way, according to the wiki, I just want to throw this in, if you deplete the shields of the lead Navy officer, after the cutscene ends, you get a special turret named Rowlett's Revenge. Never once have I succeeded in this. Before talking with Junie, I swapped out one of the lava blades for an advanced stun pulse. The stun pulse series of weapons deal heavy damage to shields, but very little to ship hulls. Basically, the stun pulse drains the shields, then the lava blades hammer down the hull. Fast forward to the action of the mission. The outcast ambush... The outcast ambush... Why can't I stop laughing about that? The outcast ambush went relatively smoothly. My shield dropped once or twice, but nothing overwhelmingly challenging happened. After landing on Willard Station, I swapped out the Class 3 sconce shield for a Class 3 Guardian shield, since it had a higher capacity, more hit points. The Rhineland ambush went fine, no issues there either. Now the Rhineland fleet, on the other hand, got a bit rough. This was the first real challenge of the run, mostly just because of the Valkyrie's stealth blades constantly pummeling down my shields. No deaths yet, though. So, leading up to it, Mission 4 was worrying me a little bit, just because of the sheer volume of fighters that are coming at you at certain points. However, after spending something close to like 15 to 20 years playing this game over and over again, I've become very familiar with how things play out during the campaign. So I decided to test my theory of whether this mission in particular progresses based off of number of enemies killed, or if it's on a timer. Turns out, my theory was correct, and it's just on a timer. So I kinda just flew around, waiting. Funnily enough, the Binford assault is the exact same thing, it's just on a timer. So I flew around some more and waited some more. The bounty hunter encounter, however, is based off of enemies killed, so I couldn't pacifist, quote-unquote, my way through it, just like the last two sections. I actually had to fight a bit, and it went a lot better than I thought it would, surprisingly. The same can be said for the Valkyries at Macton, I've heard it both ways. All in all, things didn't go too poorly with this one. Actually pretty easy. It was around this point that I remembered that the Scorpion series of cannons exist, so I decided to backtrack into Liberty and act like the nefarious little scamp that I am. Doing so managed to get my reputation up, or down, depending on how you look at it, to where the Xenos would actually sell me some Scorpions. Fast forward to Mission 5 itself, and the Sprague ambush went mostly alright. My shield batteries got depleted, but I will have a chance to restock those before needing them again. Man, holy crap. I'll have a chance to restock those before needing them again, so it wasn't really much of a loss. Running from the second group of Rhinelanders didn't cause a fuss. I made it to Baxter without any issue. After restocking my ship, I managed to take down that second Rhinelander group with minimal damage taken, with the battleship group later on being more or less the same result. I grabbed an advanced countermeasure dropper and traded out the heavy thruster that I had for an advanced thruster. I also bought a Class 3 Matter Thief to replace the advanced stun pulse for whatever reason, before promptly changing my mind right back and swapping them back again. I also did some wreck hunting, as I usually do around this point in the story, and got some alien crap. Somehow I survived every bounty hunter in the colonies shooting at me all at once. I sold the alien crap that I scavenged off of that wreck, and then I went to Dublin, raced a guy, blew up some Rhinelanders, got a gun pulled on me, killed more Rhinelanders, flew a short distance, and killed even more Rhinelanders. I have got to be making a dent in their ranks by this point. Still haven't died. First two encounters after Leeds weren't too bad. Reaching the jump gate, however, things heated up a little bit. I made it through alright, basically just played around the station using it as cover, which I'm sure the people inside really appreciated. As for the gunboats in Tau 31, things were pretty uneventful. So here it is. When I was first considering, conceptualizing even, this run, the Rhineland fleet encounter post-Shinkaku was where I thought for sure the run would die. Shockingly, it didn't. I managed to scrape my way through it by utilizing a mixture of hit-and-run tactics, relying heavily on my plot-armored teammates, and cowering behind an asteroid. If you think tactics such as this invalidate the run because it's not how you personally would do it, then I urge you to try this run for yourself and engage everything. You might just change your mind. After all that mess was over with, I decided to grab a tadpole. The mine launcher, that is. I decided to go after some more wrecks. Very lucrative. Fast forward to the mission.
You came.
The assault on Yukawa was a little bit rough. I got my first mission failed, but I think that was literally just because I didn't take out the weapons platforms first, like the game wanted me to. Resulting in the teammate dialogue not being able to be played out properly or whatever. The best way that I could find out to take down the platforms without getting completely annihilated was to just corner peek them from around the station. Shockingly, the fighters seemed to almost entirely ignore me while I did this. Second wave of fighters was a little iffy in a few spots, but I got through it fine. So this is it. The second point in the campaign that I thought the run would almost assuredly end. But I got crafty, and I made it through. The initial wave of fighters is a little difficult, but the arch itself is the real test of skill. As the late and great Mitten Squad would say, this is where the real game begins. Reaching the arc, I took out the first generator by just plugging away at it with my little pea shooters. It was at this point that I realized that I needed to do something drastic about my damage output, but then I decided to put it off. I pushed on, and took out the second and third generators, moving on to the fourth and final. I was under heavy fire and tried taking out one of the Arch's turrets before being nearly one-shot by the battleship. And there it is. First death of the run. I'm honestly amazed that it took so long for it to happen. Reaching the Arch again, I accidentally discovered a great tactic that ended up getting me through this section. If I fly circles around the shield bubble, doing hit-and-run style tactics, I can just smack each generator with my guns a bit, poop out a mine, move on to the next one, and just keep doing that until something happens. Eventually, it worked. Also, I lost a wing, which I decided to keep unrepaired for the remainder of the run. It's like a little battle scar. The enemy squadrons after the Arch, by the way, were a complete cakewalk compared to the Arch itself, even though I nearly died. I got the feeling that the Rhineland Fleet section in Sigma 13 might be a timed section as opposed to kill-based, like those earlier ones back in Mission 4. So I did the same thing that I did in New York, and I just fired up my cruise engines, flew around for a while. Theory turned out to be correct, and I got through without having to engage anything. Fast forward to Bruchsal? I'm probably saying that wrong. I got through the Rhinelander ambush there unscathed. It still bothers me that I died here in my full campaign playthrough that I did like 2 years ago at this point, or whatever. I mean, I got through it perfectly fine this time in a freaking Starflier, for crying out loud. How did I die in a Barracuda? I swapped out the advanced stun pulse for a heavy starbeam, because this next section, as any Freelancer fan knows, doesn't have shields to contend with, so I decided to just go for all-out damage output. I stand out like a sore thumb. I took out my own shield with my own mines, but by some miracle, I actually managed to take down one of the battleships. I was shocked. Shooketh even. So I tagged the stun pulse back in, because shields are coming up in the next section. I also grabbed a driller mine to replace the tadpole. Now, if I was smart, I would have gone out to the Omicron systems and searched some wrecks for like a truly devastating mine launcher. I'm pretty sure a few of them have those, but I'm not gonna fact check myself on that because I don't feel like looking it up, even though I literally own the official physical strategy guide for this game. I'm just that lazy. The Navy patrol just inside the New York jump hole wasn't too bad of a fight, just long-winded really. Now the satellite...
Shield failed.
I'm gonna chalk those deaths up to me having just woken up at the time when I recorded that mission. Hit and run is truly the way forward. So the death count is at 3, and the story's almost over. Not bad, all things considered. The Navy ships at the Alaska Gate were challenging, but so much easier than the satellite. I mostly played around the jump gate using it as cover, and I managed to get through the engagement fairly easily. After the prison station, we have got another time section. You know what that means. Time to fly around in circles until something happens.
Goodbye, Junko. Win this one for me. No!
Oh, something happened. The Omaha blockade is another section where you can just fly around and avoid fighting completely. In conclusion, this mission honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. You know, minus the satellite. That was pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Structural integrity degrading!
Well, I died again. That's 4. So it was here, at the end of the game, almost, that I finally decided to use missiles. I replaced the advanced stun pulse with a slingshot launcher. and swapped out the Scorpions with a pair of Lava Blade MK2s. We're almost entirely hull damage now, which is fine because despite being a super advanced alien race, the Nomads don't use shields for some reason. Round 2 on the Nomad layer went much better. Still a game of dodging constant Nomad fire, but with a higher damage output, we don't have to dodge it for as long. I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to manage to beat the countdown on this one. That's what was worrying me the most. But with a combination of missiles, mines, and pure stubbornness, I managed to squeak by. And yet, despite the hellishness that was the Nomad layer, the onslaught of Nomads in Omicron Minor was worse.
Incoming missile.
That's 5 now. I mostly had to just outrun them, using the asteroids as cover, whilst my teammates plugged away at them. Very, very slowly. For some odd reason or another, I decided to change my loadout back to the Scorpions and Heavy Starbeam. I have no idea why. I don't know what I was thinking or what I was doing. Getting into space above Toledo, we once again implement the tried and true method of just fly around until something happens. A long while back, when I was a little kid and wasn't yet a sad man, I discovered that if you nestle yourself right in this spot of the Nomad battleships, they can't hit you. You can just sit there, staying nice and cozy, whilst you fire everything you've got into them. Super advanced alien race, by the way. After destroying the battleship, I went back to flying around until the second one showed up, and I shot at it for a little bit until Overland inevitably called us back to Toledo. Escorting Sinclair and Quintain was easy since there's no fighting to be had, so not really anything to say about that. And here it is, the final mission. When I was thinking about this run, I never thought that I would manage to make it this far, and yet here we are. I swapped out the Heavy Starbeam with the slingshot missiles, and I put the Lava Blades back in place of the Scorpions. Reaching the Nomad jump gate, we cradle ourselves in the battleship's built-in blind spot and take it out with ease. And I'm gonna pretend that it was me that did all the damage and that it definitely wasn't my teammates hard carrying me. Taking out the generators wasn't difficult, just time consuming. We're not on any kind of time crunch this time around, like what we dealt with at the lair, so we can kind of just take our time with it. In retrospect, I should have saved my missiles for the platforms inside the sphere, but at the time, I didn't know if the generators outside were a timed thing or not, and I didn't want to take any chances with it. Inside the sphere, I just plugged away at the Nomad platforms, literally just unloading everything I had into them. They were actually kind of easy, all things considered. So that's it then. It is entirely possible to beat Freelancer with just the Starflier. Annoying, but possible. I'd really like to do more challenge videos like this, but I'm not sure when that will be. Like, I need to get like proper recording area set up and all that. Like, I loved doing the actual challenge, but I really hated writing this script. Like, it took me months to write this script, as bad as it is. So maybe I just need a better way of writing a script or something. I don't know. But with that aside, let me know what you thought of this. If you want more challenge videos, I'll probably be doing them anyway, but still, let me know if you liked it or not. Hopefully, it's my hope that this video kind of nomads its way into people's recommended lists, like people that watch challenge videos and stuff, and hopefully just gets Freelancer exposed to a larger crowd. Just be kind of cool to see the game get a little more recognition, you know, 20-something years after it was released. But yeah, the toodaloo or something.